Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans, right here on the YouTube, the Twitch, and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide, baby. Oh my goodness. That was, look, and I don't care what brands you watch, but everyone knows whether you love the other brands or hate the other brands, this is a loaded weekend for wrestling. And that show tonight is, how do I say this? How do you follow that? It's going to take a lot to follow that. And granted, the show that's going to happen tomorrow night, we'll say it's Full Gear. It's going to be very different. It's going to be in a very different setting. But is the wrestling going to match up? Tonight was just full of drama, damn good wrestling. Look, even Oreo is losing her mind here. It's crazy. Aren't you? Oh, now she's not going to say nothing. She's sitting here just off camera. Just like, wow, you're doing a show this late? Yes, I'm doing a show this late. It's not that late. But she sat with me that whole show. And I think she was as tense as I was in those last few minutes of this pay-per-view. It's just the first time in a long time I was on the edge of my seat at the end of a show wondering what the hell was going to happen next. Was Bully going to cash in? Was he going to destroy Jade, Josh Alexander's wife? Thank God their kid was not there. Someone obviously took him and back. Go get some cotton candy for the kid. This next 5 minutes is going to be insane. Thank you, Justin Miller, with the super chat. Let's see what he has to say here. $9.99. Thank you. Says, howdy, J-Bone. Just dropped in to give the fam some love. Thank you so much. Much love right back to you. Got some regulars in here. Courtney is upset that Kaz did not win. I tell you what, the way that match went, I'm shocked he didn't win. That match could have went either way. That was intense, the back and forth. Just when he thought that Kaz was done, he came back with some insane combos of his own. Kaz is, and I've said this before, if you follow me over the course of the pandemic, you've heard me talk about specific people like Jordan Grace and Kaz and Trey Miguel, a little here, a little there, that have redefined themselves, not just physically, but overall, from in the ring to how you look, how you carry yourself, everything. You become, when you're in the position that they are, you are your own brand. And it's how you present yourself in the ring, out of the ring, in your pinups, everything. And Kaz is one of those guys who took the pandemic, took the time, and absolutely retransformed himself into, he was one of AEW's first tag team champions. So going into this what may be his last big run of his career, he's still in pretty good shape. But then the pandemic happened, and you can either take that time to boost yourself up, keep yourself motivated, keep yourself on top of the game, or you're going to let people run over you. And Kaz is one of those guys that has done it all for the last 20 plus years. And what Kaz showed in this match, in this, well, you can call it pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, in Impact Wrestling's Overdrive tonight versus Josh Alexander, blew my mind. I was ready to have a new champ tonight. I was prepared for it. The way they have built Kaz up has been nothing short of phenomenal. And as I'm talking about this, and we're going to kind of bounce around a little bit. Let me know your thoughts on the show. Did you love it? Were you shocked as I was? What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts, and we'll cover stuff. If and as we go through this, make sure while you're here, please take the time to smash that like button, smash that sub button, ring that bell for notifications. If you're on Team Twitch, you can give subs, cheer bits. Team YouTube, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Super chats, as you see, and super stickers are always open. Every little bit counts to help support the show, keep it growing. We just hit 1,800 subs. Thank you so much. It's not bragging, folks. It's a humble thank you. This show that I've been a part of for the last, was it 3-4 years now? I have to go back and see exactly when I started. Between 3.5, 4 years now. This has been completely grassroots. Now, granted, when I joined, we started on the Impact Lounge, and we had a great following. We had a great following, but it was already built in. And I told the guys, I said, we're not going to know how real this is for us until we get off this channel and go out on our own and do something completely OG. And we went out on their own. We started with the throwbacks. Then we started with the regular reviews. We built the family. We had Bill join. We had Alicia join. We had Mark join. Truck became a major part of it. And it's just grown and grown and grown. So thank you. Let's keep it going to 19. Let's keep it going to 2K and keep it going. So thank you very much, everyone. We know we're a small guppy in a big ocean of podcasts talking about wrestling and other stuff. But damn, it's we're proud because we didn't buy anyone. We didn't go to any websites to get any subs, nothing. This is word of mouth, and it's completely organic. So it makes me proud that way too. So all right. Just catching up on messages here from our Facebook group. Okay, so looks like Bill is a few minutes out. Looks like he may be joining us, which will be great because we could really get his because he was right there when Bully was just going bonkers, so It's man, so we can start talking about it, and then whenever he gets in, we'll get his thoughts on stuff. Um, I didn't pay that much attention to the pre-show, unfortunately. Um, I'm probably gonna go back and watch it a little more because man, the X division is always on fire. It's like everybody gets their stuff in. Um, but this started out with a six-way. It was Bhupinder, Jason Hotch, which for like the the new kid on the block, he looked great. He really looked great. Kenny King, Mike Bailey, Yuya Uemura, and Rich Swann. And Rich Swann got the win here. That's a huge win for Rich Swann, reminding everybody, you know, who's still going in the X division. So does that make him number one contender? I think he could argue that, but we'll see in the days and weeks to come. Fun match though. Like I said, it's one of those where it just gets the crowd moving, excited. But yeah, great win for Rich Swann. Then we got the Bullet Club versus Motor City Machine Guns. And this, they didn't say this was for anything like right off the bat. I mean, if it was going to involve anything, the Motor City Machine Guns right now are the New Japan Strong. That's for those of you who don't know what that is. That's the U.S. Chapter of New Japan Pro Wrestling. They are the tag team. Motor City Machine Guns are the tag team champs of New Japan Strong. So, but then at the end of this match, they said that Motor City Machine Guns are the number one contenders. So that's kind of interesting. But hey, I'm not gonna, argue about it or complain about it. It's fine. I don't think they mentioned it beforehand in the promo material. Oh, look, Trent's ex-wife is even in here. What is Trent's ex-wife saying? Front row Bill, the star, is on his way. He'll be on the air soon. Oh, well, thank you, Trent's ex-wife. Are you with Bill? What's going on here? Oh, he says he just left my hotel room. Wink. Well, now that's, I usually don't believe in the whole, kissing and telling stuff, but we'll have to talk to Bill about that when he gets in. Courtney says she loves Yuya's hair game. That's just cruel. I got no hair game. But speaking of hair, we do have a sponsor, and it's Manscaped. And let me tell you, they got some great tools for the job, whether you're trimming up your beard or something down a little more private. They got some great tools for it, and you can use code TNI for 20% off? I believe it's 20% or 15% off. I forget. I got to brush up on my promo skills. I apologize. But you can go to the website, code TNI for a hell of a discount and free shipping. Not bad. So, and it's not just trimming stuff. They got all sorts of stuff for men. They got some amazing undies. Very cozy. Bald is beautiful too. Thanks, Courtney. You damn Skippy. Whew. Needed a little monster to jumpstart my system because, man, that last couple matches had me shook. Tatum's, what is up? Says Overdrive was an amazing show to close out 2022. Yeah, they're going to have some IPWF stuff, but that's just kind of like fun stuff to have around the holidays. Don't take it too seriously, because this was enough serious to round out the end of the year. It was absolutely insane. I can't wait to see the fallout from this. But all right, so Chris Bay and Ace Austin are really starting to look like a well-oiled machine. Excuse me. Um, Now, so from what it sounds like in the promo that they cut this um after this match, they are headed off to New Japan in Japan for their tag tournament. I'm sorry, I don't watch a lot of New Japan. I don't know if it's called anything specific, but it's I believe it's their junior tag league or something to that effect. But Ace Austin and Chris Bay are going over. It's Chris Bay's first trip over there. Ace Austin's, yes, I'm talking about the Bullet Club. Yes. They're going to go over there and tag together in the tournament. So we will keep a close eye on that, though. I will try to give you guys news tips along the way as we go through the tag tournament and see who they fight, win or lose. So, and give them their best on the socials too. Great that they get this opportunity. So, they may not be around for several weeks on Impact Television, but know that they're still working their asses off representing the Bullet Club and Impact Wrestling. But yeah, so Motor City Machine Guns get the win here. Such a fun match because, man, I tell you, I was rooting for the Bullet Club. I was rooting for Ace and Bay. And but hey, Sabin and Shelley, they're no slouches here. They get the win. They are the number 1 contenders. Now onto the main card. And usually, Bell's Boy here says it's World Tag League. Okay, thank you. That's what they call it. Gotcha. Appreciate that. Courtney, what? No Bullet Club on Impact? And then just throwing just a bunch of crazy emotional emojis. That's hilarious. Just settle down. They'll be back. They're not going anywhere for a super long time. They'll be back. Just be happy for them. All right. So, oh goodness. All right. So we start out with a tables match here, which is pretty hardcore, pretty violent. You got Bully Ray, who challenged Moose because Moose just kept messing with him constantly because he's a scumbag. And he'll tell you too. And I was thinking as soon as this started and that this was the first one, I was like, wow, there certainly is plenty of time between now and the end of the night for Bully to figure out what he's going to do by the end of the night in the main event, which we found out a few hours later. So I'm not going to sit here and toot my horn and say, well, I was right. But it was all timed out perfectly. Get his match out of the way first. He has time to recoup and then come back later. And so let me know, folks, what you guys thought of this tables match between Moose and Bully Ray. I thought it was great. I thought it was violent, not too fast paced. Oh, here we go. Good old Lino, the Nerd Network podcast. What is up, Lino? So he was there just sitting a little ways away from from our own front row Bill took a picture of him and shared it in our chat in on Facebook. So that was great to see. Let me know um let me know how the show was from your point of view being there live. Anna's here too. Critical Sting's here. What what timeline is this? So yeah. This was Moose's first ever table match. I did not realize that because Moose has been through some crazy hardcore stuff over the years, especially after turning heel. But but man, he came to represent, and he was no slouch in this. He was no slouch in this either. All right, so Lino says it was a great event and a first time live pay-per-view with the girlfriend. Oh, that's always great when you can bring your girlfriend and you two can share some damn good wrestling together. That's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. I took Tracy to a few wrestling events, and one was back when Vicky Guerrero was with Dolph Ziggler, I believe, and like on SmackDown. This is like about 10 years ago. And she hated Vicky so much that Tracy wanted to go down to the ring and smack the hell out of Vicky. And I had to, keep Tracy in her seat during the promo because she wanted to get up and actually run down there. And I was like, oh, dear God, I love this woman. So I believe I married her the next year. So yeah, that's kind of dating that, but that was a lot of fun. Anyways, yeah, great that you got to take the girlfriend and have some fun. Chris Akane, yes. And if you want to hear our thoughts on the Callahan Eric Young match, we gave our thoughts on that last night. So but yeah, tremendous match. Kind of a shame that we didn't get anything from him tonight, but tonight's card was absolutely loaded. No complaints there. So Bully Ray gets the win, gets his revenge on Moose, which is he's Bully Ray. He's been in what did they say? Like either what did they say? Like 57 or 87 table matches or something to that effect. It's like, dear God, that's a lot of freaking table matches in your lifetime. That's a lot of violence. Knockouts, tag titles on the line. If you missed the show last night, we had one half of the team that challenged for the knockout tag titles. We had Savannah, not Samantha. Savannah Evans. Sorry, Trent, had to. We had Savannah Evans on last night and talked to her for about 20 or so minutes. Lovely interview with her, getting her thoughts going into her first Knockouts tag title match in Impact Wrestling for Overdrive tonight. Great match. A lot of fun. Death Dollz came out on top here. And I was really kind of wondering how it would click. I was a little worried about how JesSICKa would be. Is she gonna show up, all OD beat up, and hammered, and she gonna be able to walk to the ring? Is she gonna show up, period? But no, she showed up. She turned out. It was great. Love the Death Dollz. I think JesSICKa is doing some of her best character work in the world. And here's a man who is front row for the entire show tonight, ready to tell us all about it. Bill, what is up with you?
Hey, J-Bone, how you doing? How's the TNI fam tonight?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Overdrive.
Oh, Overdrive. What a sick show. It's like I said at the top of the show, and I'll say it again because it bears repeating. This is a loaded weekend, and to kick off the weekend with this, and having another pay per view tomorrow night, it's like, oh my god, I don't know how much
I
can handle.
It's a TV taping, J-Bone. Kentucky Chaos is just TV tapings, but I get your enthusiasm. Because I know there's no other pay-per-views this weekend. Come on.
Hey, I'm just in it for the wrestling, and I'm just praying that there isn't another media scrum. It's
gotta watch out for those scrums.
Oh my god, they'll kill you. Don't bring your dog to them either. Anyways,
well, that's where I would be if there was an Impact this weekend, because that is not too far from me where that other show's going on. But obviously, Impact weekend, you know where I'm at.
Oh yeah, always front row, Bill, and make sure you check out last night's Impact Wrestling because Bill was featured on it, helping Tommy Dreamer in his match. Bill's just getting all the spotlight now. I'm a little jealous.
Well,
a little jealous now.
People may have been nervous because there was a tables match tonight. Luckily, I did not interfere.
No, you did not. And honestly, with those two badass guys, that you're probably smart to sit that one out. It's
yes, it is.
You don't mess with the pro like Bully Ray.
Very, very nice to see you as well.
Just overall, how was the experience tonight? I'm not too far ahead into the review, and we'll backtrack just a little bit. But overall, how was the whole night for you, Bill?
Oh no, I thought it was everything was good about it. The show obviously was great. A lot of we'll go over them. I don't think there was really a bad match on the card, and the top matches had a lot of time. Excellent matches. The crowd was into it. The Louisville crowd always is into it. I think they set up a little differently for this show. It seemed like from going in there at first, it seemed like the seating arrangement, like what they had on the ramp side versus there, and because every seat was kind of like numbered. So GA, I think we're just kind of like standing, I assume, and maybe upstairs. But it was a little bit of a different setup. But the crowd still brought it. The Louisville crowd. I know from being at OVW before the review last night, Heath was there pushing tickets. So I think they got a lot of because it was a big week here in Louisville for wrestling. Monday Night Raw was in Louisville on Monday. Ooh. Then you had OVW, who does every Thursday, now Impact the next 2 days. So a lot going on here in Louisville. So definitely a great wrestling week for people that came out.
Nice. Lino might be letting us in on a little spoiler here. It says great bonus match with Shera and Joe Hendry. Maybe that was for a taping.
Well, I think that's probably going to be the weekly digital match, I assume.
Okay.
It could be BTI, but it had because you see lately they've been using independent matches for a lot of the digital matches every week.
Oh yeah.
But I think this will be one of the digital matches. It might be next week's, because I'm not sure if Impact's addressed it yet, how they're handling Thanksgiving. Because tomorrow we'll probably get an idea at the live audience, but I can't imagine it's going to be all fresh material. I know they did on tonight's show announce the next December Impact Plus is the IPWF show. I assume it's the one they're filming at the end of this month. So I don't know if that IPWF show from WrestleCon will be lost in history, or if it will show up next week, or will they do some backstage stuff? Remember, they do Wrestle House or something one year on a holiday. is there something in the can that we don't even know about that's about to pop up?
Oh,
I wouldn't
yeah.
mind like a Wrestle House special or something. That wouldn't be bad either.
Oh, that's always fun.
Squeeze in that IPWF show. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then there's a throwback throwdown too. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens during December. All right, so we talked about. I just kind of breezed over the first two matches from the pre-show. But they did announce. I don't know if you caught anything while being there, but they did announce on commentary that Motor City Machine Guns are now the #1 tag team contenders.
Yes, and you could tell that from when they come out later to sit Ramside next to me.
Yeah.
That there was, because at the end, like Sabin's like going like, oh yeah, with the belt. So will definitely be something to keep an eye on. So not a surprise. And we saw the backstage segment where they're talking about the Bullet Club going over to Japan. Right. And hey, when you come back, maybe we'll have the Impact Tag titles too. So.
Ooh. Is that a little spoiler on no?
Could be. Could be. Yeah, Justin here is confirming Wrestle House was last year on the holiday. That's what I thought.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it was like a 1 episode thing or whatever it was. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, instead of the segment, so I can see them doing that again, and nobody even knows about it.
Yeah. So what do you think of the tables match between Moose and Bully Ray? They said this was Moose's first tables match. Kind of surprising.
Done surprisingly more hardcore style matches than you would think.
Right.
I guess a technical tables match. I guess that is true. It feels like he's been in a lot of matches that have involved tables. But no, I thought it was a good match. Now it is interesting because they used the idea of when he got out of the way, since he wasn't put through the table, he put himself through. Kind of, I've seen that used before as a reason not to call the match. But if you're using a skilled maneuver to get out of the way, I don't know. That's a little. I could go either way on that call.
But
I knew it well.
Yeah.
I thought based on that going first, and then obviously Bully coming out on top, that we might have the cash in for the main event.
Plenty of time until the end of the show.
Yeah, like it was a perfect way to do it. But I also didn't think they'd give them 40 minutes in the main event. I thought they'd go a while, but I didn't think they'd go 40. So they almost did a Broadway. So I get it setting up. But we'll get into that later. But great way to start the show. And not your typical way, because you could have easily gone X Division title match to start the show. Very Impact. But a hardcore match pretty much with tables to start. Kind of give you a different feel for a pay-per-view.
It really was. It was a lot of fun though. I mean, it really, man, they're starting out, balls out. It was nuts. A lot of fun. Bully Ray gets the win. And then I talked just a little bit about the Knockouts tag title match as you came in here, and that we had Savannah Evans on last night.
The Cannibal.
The Cannibal. Thoughts on the Knockouts tag titles match?
I was impressed. I thought the Death Dolls probably looked honestly the best they've looked in a match in this one. I don't know if it was the opponents or if they're just getting more comfortable with each other, but I think JesSICKa and Taya worked really well as a team. A lot more teamwork. I think at times it seemed more like two singles wrestlers, which you see a lot when teams get put together. Obviously, Taya and Rosemary had a lot more in-ring chemistry from tagging together, and and then you had JesSICKa and Rosemary that had chemistry. So I think they had to work on it together, and it feels like it is, because a lot of crisp moves, timing was good, and obviously Tasha and Savannah, that they were very good in the match too. But the Death Dolls, this was a hot potato title since it's returned. So it's good to see we actually have like a team now. Kind of, they're taking on the challengers, but not just real quick reigns, 1 or 2 defenses. So I think this was the right call.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and you know, a bit of a mystery, wondering how JesSICKa would be tonight, but she came out, she represented, she was fine, you know.
Yeah, she was not under the weather.
No, she under the weather, the PBR weather. So yeah,
she was,
because I'm sick.
She's always sick. Hell yeah. Mickie James versus Taylor Wilde. Oh,
hold on, J-Bone.
Bell's boy.
Thank you for the $5 super sticker. Dreamer and Front Row Bill should be next in line for the tag titles. Bell's boy. I don't know if anyone wants to see that. But obviously, if Tommy needs me, I'm always there to help. But you get a little bit of a guy we heard, and you'll have to inform me when we get to the main event.
Okay.
I don't know how much you heard from him on the pay-per-view and how much, I don't know when he got cut off, but the coach who made such a statement.
Impact Wrestling!
Oh, see, now the end of the show was cut off when they were showing Josh Alexander holding his wife, who was just shaking, and Bully finally started to back off.
Oh, that's where it cut off?
That's where it cut off,
oh,
yeah. So it cut off at like just a few minutes to the top of the hour.
Oh, because, yeah, it went on for a while afterwards.
Okay. So they'll probably show that like within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Yeah, maybe on their socials. Yeah, but the coach gets involved.
Oh, that's interesting. So, tag titles. Hey, Bill, he's gonna dream on that one tonight.
Tag title would look nice by that. As long as the other guy does most of the work.
You're right.
I'll be the hype man in the corner.
There you go. He's come on, everybody! And here you can help him get a table here and there.
Hey, Tom Hannafin called you William on TV, saying thanks, William. Well, that is my name, so thank you, Tom Hannafin.
Yeah.
It's like the Sheryl Crow song. I go by all the names. I go by Will, William, Bill, Billy,
Mr. Impact. Yes. Pretty cool. Mickie James versus Taylor Wilde.
Oh yeah,
man!
My bowling partner.
Your bowling partner? Wait, which one was your bowling partner?
Taylor Wilde.
She was your bowling partner
in Las Vegas.
What else can she do? Jeez,
she does it all.
Apparently,
we're getting wild.
See, the only thing that she can do is beat legends like Mickie James.
She wanted it. She wanted to do that. And I'll tell you, I think she gave her a really good run for her money in this one.
Hell yeah,
honestly, the first half of this match, the mat wrestling, it was a clinic. That's 2 of the greats right there. I was on the edge of my seat for that. That's what I like to see. Then when it got outside, it got a little bit, but in the end, Mickie she liked it. I think she was taking her to her limit. Not just she did the mat thing. Then she's like, you know what? I'll look for an edge. Didn't cheat, but took advantage. But Mickie was able to come out on top. And then we see Assert and Virtuosa come out, and she's not done. She wants. She's never beaten Mickie James.
No, and it's been a while because Deanna's been doing some tag stuff, which has been great. It really is. I mean, it really freshened up her run in Impact Wrestling because Deanna was like, on top for so long, it seemed, and was doing such a stellar performance and doing that. but then she needed something else. And it's not that she had to be knocked down a peg. It's just she needed a little change. So the tag stuff has been great. I loved it. And it's a shame it looks like it's over now from what I'm hearing. You know, you hear things, Bill.
Are you saying the dream is over? Hey now.
Like the classic song says, VXT, one half of VXT might be heading to other pastures.
Going home.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. She's going home.
Does that mean Orlando?
I believe it's the back seat of wherever Matt Cardona's driving. But all right.
Wait. Did you say?
But the truth is, you're nothing but a mid Cardona.
Mid Cardona. That's it. That's who's driving. Driving Miss Chelsea. But yeah, Taylor Wilde versus Mickie James was just, like you said, it was a clinic. And we as fans, we know Taylor Wilde's been around. She took about a decade break and she comes back. She's in incredible shape. This is probably her best match that we've seen since she's been back. If you're just, if you're unsure of how good Taylor Wilde still is, oh my goodness, this match will, win or lose, will tell you how damn good she is.
No, but I honestly, I think she's been. I remember her first match back, and I think some of the people, maybe even Sting, but people that were in after that first review when she returned during the pandemic, it was like she didn't miss a beat. She was gone for about a decade, and she was still looked as good as any knockout in there. In ring was flawless because. Remember, she was supposed to return in Windsor for the lockdown pay-per-view before that, but then that all got put on hold for a while the world went crazy. So it is something that it's just unbelievable how good. Well, because she was a very good knockout before in TNA. Obviously, one of the OG knockout tag champions. With Sarita.
She was,
and former knockout champion. So she's done it all. But to come back and be this good, she's a great asset to the roster right now, no doubt.
So the knockout started in what, 2008-ish?
Roughly. I'm trying to remember when they did the Battle Royal, to crown the first champion with Gail Kim, but it feels like it's around that time frame.
And so I was
Sting,
just trying to remember,
confirmed.
like when she came in, when Taylor Wilde came in, like within the next like year or two, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, she was real early. She was real early.
Yeah. So
there you go. Crown Bound for Glory 2007. There you go. That's it. That sounded right. Late 2007, right before 2008.
Okay, yeah. So, but yeah, and thank you, T. Hughes. So yeah, just man, and if you missed it, please do yourself a favor. You want to see a classic between two? Oh my God, I can't even talk. Between two knockout legends, please check out Taylor Wilde versus Mickie James.
Yeah, it's sad there had to be a loser in that match.
Right.
They're two of my favorites. Mickie James, I'll never boo Mickie James or not support Mickie James because Mickie James, come on.
If her career wasn't on the line, country. There it is. There it is. He does the guitar solo so much better than me. If Mickie James' career wasn't on the line, Taylor could have really taken this.
And Critical Sting does point it out here. And when I said like the first half was very like Mad Wrestling, the clinic, but when they went outside, was she coming off heelish? Definitely. There was definitely some heelish vibes, but I thought how Mickie acknowledged her at the end of the match kind of settled that she was just trying to win. And that I think that's what Mickie wants. She wants people to try to knock her off. And Taylor was kind of using that. I think it was a way of being competitive. I don't like, we'll talk about certain other people like Trey and Miguel, and maybe some other things going on tonight. Maybe not as competitive and more true heelish. But there were some tendencies, which could be an Easter egg or some tea leaves moving forward on her character. So watch out for that.
And it came off as heelish in like that promo from the episode. Was it last?
She said, "I want to retire you. I want to retire you."
Right. She's like, "I want to be the one to do it," you know. But as snarky as that came off, it's almost like I want to have that honor.
Yeah.
You know. So you can take it however.
It's like the HBK. I love you.
Right.
He wanted the honor to kick your head off.
Right. Yeah. Just some random guy in the hallway. Oh man. So yeah, great. And yeah, like you said, the Virtuosa came down and challenged.
Oh, she laid it down.
Oh, hard. Talk about hardcore. Oh my goodness. She's like, this whole thing is such bullshit. I was like, oh.
She was dropping bombs because she is.
I am the f***ing greatest.
She sure did. She didn't pull any punches. I mean, Mickie James was really taken back by that. She was like, what? Okay. I mean, if she wasn't so exhausted from the match, she probably would have slapped her. But, you know, Mickie was pretty much done for the night after that. So yeah, we'll have to see where this goes.
A lot of people that were in the house tonight were great to see.
Ah, nice.
Hopefully you're back tomorrow. See you in person.
Nice. Jeff. All right. This says, my name is Jeff. All right. Hello, Jeff. Good to see you here.
My name is Al.
You can call me Al. Impact tag titles on the line. I kind of didn't pay as much attention to this one. I started, and it's not because of boredom. It's just a very long day here. So I think I dozed off for a couple seconds. I had to rewind the ending for like this match and the next match. But for what I saw of it, it was fun. It was the major players, Brian Myers and Matt Cardona, tried to dethrone Heath and Rhino, and thanks to
J-Bone, you need a little bit of this.
Oh baby!
Yeah, well,
now you're awake. Now you're awake.
That's why I was having one of these, because trying to like level my system up, because that last match had me shook.
Well, it was good to see Heath and the War Machine Rhino.
The War Machine.
Now, I was worried. I'll tell you, I had some nervous times during this match because it seemed like the major players, there were going to be some kind of shenanigans to maybe take these belts, and I didn't want to see that. I didn't want to see that at all. Luckily, we had some Law and Order come in the way of the Motor City Machine Guns, J-Bone.
Yeah.
Coming on, making their presence just by sitting at ringside, making sure no shenanigans would take place. And there was a time where Cardona came out, tried to take Chris Sabin's chair and bring it into the ring for some no good business. Oof. And Chris Sabin did not let it happen. So we say, Hail Sabin.
Hail Sabin. We love Sabin. Or as I believe it was Justin or someone said earlier in the chat, said sexy Sabin. It's
from Wrestle House. Bring it back. Bring it back.
Steamy Sabin or whatever. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
All the nicknames.
Oh yeah. I love this place. Yeah. But yeah, so Heath and Rhino successful to retain their tag titles. Fun match. That is certainly not the most dramatic match of the evening, but it was fun. It was fun. You know, it's Heath and Rhino. I'm don't get me wrong. I love them. It's a little hard to take them seriously at times for as tag champs. But don't get me wrong. I'm very happy that they are tag champs because Heath has had. Well, and Rhino too, but especially when Heath came in, he had a hell of a first year. Again, all things going against him. You know, he got injured right off the bat, had to take a year off, and now he's finally getting to do what the original plan was with Rhino. You know, and Rhino was injured for a while, so it certainly lost its momentum, I think, in the eyes of the fans, especially me. But I don't love him any less. You know, it would have been cool if it happened right away back then, but it is what it is.
Well, remember that there was the injury. That's the whole thing here. He got the injury. He was out for a while.
Right.
Came back, kind of slowed into things. Then you had obviously the Honor No More storyline, because then Rhino was out for a while.
Right.
So it feels like this was the plan. And then I think whenever the tag is over, the tag run, I think then you'll see Heath probably go again into the main event, is my guess.
That'd be great to see.
I think that's the build. You'd be like, all right, former tag champion. But this is a guy you correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't him and Rhino have a fairly significant run up north with their tag titles? I know they became a comedy thing later, but weren't they like the first SmackDown champions or something like that?
They were the first SmackDown tag champs when they started to put the separate brands out there again. Yeah. So that was fun, but then it became a joke, and Rhino's just sitting around eating bologna sandwiches, and that was one of the first times that I stepped away from that brand because I couldn't stand what they were doing with tag team wrestling at the
But they're not going to do that here.
No. Hell no. I mean, this is proper. I mean, it doesn't matter how many people are watching them every week. Just the fact that they're getting the chance to prove themselves as true tag team champions and be taken seriously is great to see.
Well, just look at the match here. You had Heath and Rhino as tag team champions with a very legitimate tag team defense against guys. Remember, Brian Myers, what do you have? 100 and something losses in a row up north. And Brian Myers just came off the digital media title, a long run, longer than I thought. I thought Bhupinder was going to beat him one of those times. But he's had he had a nice run there. And obviously Matt Cardona was in the main event as a serious contender to maybe take that world title not that long ago.
Yeah. Well, and they have a lot of history together, period, going back, decades.
What they were doing up north to
right.
what Mac's doing with them. And just as I'm watching that match, I was thinking about that. I'm like, you're at the middle of this show now for this pay-per-view, Impact Plus pay-per-view for Impact. And you have 4 guys that were all up north not long ago. But look what they're doing now. Something much more entertaining.
I think it was, and it's fun. It's fun to see these guys, just to do some damn good tag team wrestling, So, they may not be the best on the brand as far as who you think is the best tag team on the brand, whether it's Motor City Machine Guns or someone else.
We're going to be getting that, it looks like. I'm not sure when. But we'll see.
I think it's going to be sooner rather than later, but we'll see.
Yeah, you can't have everything wait the hard to kill. You still got a lot of stuff I know we're getting into the holiday season and all, but that's still a lot of TV time.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You can't have no titles defended.
we got the Florida tapings, so
yeah. So you're going to have, I would imagine, two episodes out of Kentucky, followed by 4 episodes out of Florida.
Yeah, and that's going to lead into the pay-per-view. So, hell yeah! All right. So yeah, Motor City Machine Guns help Heath and Rhino retain. Good business there.
Well, I wouldn't say help retain. Just didn't allow the major players to cheat their way into a title.
Well, they kind of just kept justice served.
Yes. They enforced the rules.
Absolutely, yeah. Good guy, Motor City Machine Guns. Now what's crazy is we are just over an hour into this pay-per-view, like the main pay-per-view, because it was like 15 minutes after the next hour when we get the X Division final. So it was like, man, we've had a lot of wrestling in this show in 1 hour. That's crazy. And it felt like 2 hours worth of wrestling. Trey Miguel versus Taurus. Who is going to come out on top and be your next X Division champion for Impact Wrestling? I think a lot of eyes were on Taurus, thinking it was absolutely time to pull the trigger.
I think he was getting the late charge. I think a lot of people thought early it was probably Trey, but I felt like as these last couple of days, it felt like Taurus was starting to get some more momentum. But I was talking to a guy I work with, and he called me today, and we were talking about this match specifically. Yeah. And he thought it was going to be Trey, and I think still the favorite had to be Trey, former X Division champion. But it felt like, obviously from the Steve entrance, that this could be Tarus's time. It felt like the build was there. The crowd, I would say almost surprisingly, I think was slightly favoring Taurus in this match.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think it was overwhelming, maybe 60-40, 70-30 max, but it definitely felt like it was leaning to Taurus. And I thought this could be get it to Taurus. Like, now's the time. But based on how Taurus didn't win it, and you had the spray can used by Trey in the match for what looks like either a heel turn or a return of the Rascals, and this is a rascally way of getting a belt.
Oh, that could be. I hear.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if maybe a former Rascal shows up, or maybe one of the original Rascals shows up, or both.
Yeah, it. I gotta say, I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. Trey Miguel has been pretty stand-up guy since his return to Impact Wrestling.
With the passion.
Really, it's passion personified, Bill. He is one of, I'd say a handful of people on this brand of Impact Wrestling that have completely redefined themselves. People like Ace Austin, Jordan Grace, Trey Miguel. You look at them how they were a couple years ago, and you look at them how they are in the ring, how they carry themselves, their charisma, everything, top to bottom. Trey is one of those guys. And, oh my God. I mean, this could have went to anyone, but it was surprising. I mean, it feels like, he's Spider Trey, but it feels like the Venom's starting to get him.
Oh, look at you. Deep comic book reference from the Bone Man.
Yeah.
He's going with the symbiote right now. I like it.
Yeah. Well, so if you look at his latest T-shirt, it's kind of a dead giveaway. It's all about the Venom on there. But I love it. I love it. It's definitely showing another side. I think it certainly shows that somewhere down the line, Taurus is still going to get it as long as he's a part of Impact Wrestling. And he's absolutely still one of the best in this brand,
Well,
representing
some would say
the X division.
he's underappreciated.
Right. So, yeah, maybe it is a sign that it's going to be the return of the Rascals.
And I know a lot of people are talking to Chad about what I brought up, and there's definitely some hot opinions on that, some hot takes, if you will. But I did say it could be an original Rascal, and it seems like Impact and a certain company called MLW have been working pretty well together lately. Obviously, Taya's at all their shows, so it wouldn't shock me if Myron Reed were to show up in Impact Wrestling.
Oh, I love Myron Reed.
He's one of the original Rascals, so I could see Myron Reed. He might be the one that shows up, not necessarily Zach, but Zach could, because I know obviously they're doing a lot of work on the indies right now as well, all of them together.
I became a fan of Myron Reed when he was part of another group in MLW
with Jordan Oliver.
Yes, Jordan Oliver, and I'm trying to think what was the name of they had like the prison jumpsuits on, so they were kind of that's what it was. I was a big fan of those guys because they were right in that X Division style of athletics, charisma, and everything. That's where I became a fan of Jordan Oliver, Myron Reed, and and now Jordan Oliver hasn't been picked up by anyone. He
obviously he's a big GCW guy. If you want to say who was the core of GCW, I would say he's definitely one of them. With the Nick Gages, Effie, Alley Catch, Jimmy Lloyd, and all that crew. But if I'm Impact Wrestling, I think Jordan Oliver would be a fantastic pickup.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I've seen him a ton over the years in the Northeast. He is the Northeast ace, East Coast ace.
Your buddy Dave is he's
a huge fan. Huge fan of Jordan Oliver.
Yeah.
But we both are. But that would be a person just like Myron as well. I think they would be great additions to not only the X Division, but more guys just like the Ace Austins, the Chris Bays, guys that you can really build with going forward.
Right. And they have to have something different though. You can't have too many guys all too similar.
Oh, and you know what? Just the way you said that just now, and I agree, those guys have some different. But I want to give a special shout out to someone that was in the pre-show tonight, or the countdown show, and that is the gut check winner, Jason Hotch. I thought he stole that match.
Oh yeah, he was I only caught
in defeat. Of that. I thought he was fantastic in that match.
Yeah, I saw.
He did a lot more things than I haven't seen. I haven't seen a lot of what he had done tonight, previous to tonight. I'm pretty good. He's a good worker. But he was doing a couple of moves in there. I was very impressed by. So kudos to the gut check. Totally.
Nice. Yeah, and that's the stuff he's got to keep doing. It's great to be involved. You may not have a certain amount of the spotlight, but that's how you earn it. You got to have matches like that.
I got to imagine people backstage were like, okay, he's going to get another angle after this.
Right. It's like you got to be able to work together. You got to have some kind of chemistry, So
and the same thing. We're talking about names that we've seen in other companies, but I think that's the whole key. A lot of people are like, well, why doesn't Impact bring in this person? It has to make sense. It has to make sense. Where are they going to fit in? There are companies out there that just hire people to debut them, and you never see them again. Impact, that wouldn't make sense. I didn't name companies.
Who could you possibly be talking about? No, I completely know where you're coming from with that. It's I mean, there's a point where it gets ridiculous, but I also look at it like hey, he's given a chance for people to work. So yeah, there's a couple different ways you can look at it, but yeah, there's a lot of faces on that brand. Yeah. Anything else from Trey Miguel, Taurus? A ball on it?
No. It'll be interesting to see where it goes. Like I said, I think there's a lot of possibilities with this Trey heel turn. Like I'm a big fan. Like obviously seen Trey through his whole run, but I'm also a big Black Taurus fan. I got my Black third here. If he won that title, it was probably being worn tomorrow. But I think it was the right call because I think Trey's character, even though he's been putting on awesome matches over the course of this year, it's probably not a bad thing. And I'm sure he's probably going to love it. No matter what it is, if it's a full heel persona or if it is something sort of like, and this is actually a great segue into this because we've talked about this before. Everyone's like, why didn't the Rascals win the tag titles? And I always said, like, they were too much of a comedy gimmick. Like the whole treehouse angle, it was too much to put the belts on.
Right.
Time.
Right.
Like,
they didn't need it. They had their own like special gimmick. They were
But like it didn't I think that hurt them to be champions at the time. But if it's a different bend on there, if it's more like we're Rascals, but we're almost lie, cheat, and steal Eddie Guerrero Rascals. Maybe
totally. But it's going to be more of a comic book,
but not full on comedy, but a little bit of a transition.
Not super comical, but more comic book like kind of. Yeah, it's
anti-heroes.
Something like that. But just a little more, sneaky, sly. Yeah, like you said, like the Eddie Guerrero way. Yeah, it'll totally fit him. So, and it doesn't take much to go either way on the spectrum of heel or babyface. So
blowing the wind, Jacob.
Yeah. So yeah, congrats to Trey Miguel. Didn't like how he got it, but I can't wait to see.
We got a trend in the chat.
Oh, Trent,
great things about the show tonight. Watching it tomorrow. Great to hear.
Yes, yeah, you're gonna love it. The first hour is gonna blow by you, bro, and the last like hour and a half to 2 hours is gonna gonna knock you out of your seat.
Just sit back, grab bowl pasta.
Have some pasta. Last knockout standing match for the Impact Knockouts World Title. Jordynne Grace defending against Masha Slamovich. Oh my God, Bill. I was uncomfortable by the end of this match, and by the end of this show, I was almost shaking. And it was so much. It was almost too much.
Too much.
It was almost too much as a wrestling fan because it was like, it was so intense.
It was very intense. I'll tell you, Jay.
You were front row. I mean, it was right in front of your face, Bill.
Yeah, I said it at Bound for Glory. I thought Jordynne had reached a new level, and she's just continued to do it. Right now, I think Jordynne Grace is the best, definitely by far the best female wrestler in the world right now.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I think she could be on a level with a lot of the men out there as well right now. It's very similar to when Deanna was like dominating in Impact, but because there's like Josh, who will get to the main event, it'd be tough to say overall. But man, she's right there. Like she's just grown by leaps and bounds, and Masha is no slouch, mind you.
No.
The stuff that Jordynne's doing right now in matches is just unreal.
I mean, her intensity. I mean, whether you love a classic character like the Ultimate Warrior or not, there is times when Jordynne Grace's intensity is like she'll do something intense or insane to Masha, and then she'll just look at her and just and she'll just shake and quake, and it's like, oh my god, and I'm an old school wrestling fan. So if I start seeing some classic like oh, she's gonna shake the ropes or some shit like that, I was just it just gets me all excited. Man, her intensity, her charisma, everything in her performance is just completely elevated. And like I said, there are certain ones during the pandemic that have completely redefined themselves. Jordynne Grace is the best knockout, possibly the best female wrestler in the world right now. It's all subjective, but yes, absolutely. Like what she's doing right now, she is killing it. Thank you to Bell's boy.
Oh, yes.
Bring that up here.
Bam. In my opinion, Masha and Jordynne worked so well together. And that's not a lie. Not a lie. Bell's boy definitely got that right.
They told a hell of a story.
Yeah, no, they went back to it relatively quickly, obviously Bound for Glory. But they do work great together. Just like Deanna and Jordynne, you just look at some of the women on this roster, it's unbelievable the matches they can all put on, and when they give them the time to do so. This is
Impact Wrestling.
It is. It's I mean this show, and I'm kind of fast forwarding here a bit, but when Bully came out and put over Josh, he also put over the whole brand. He really did. And that's why I said what I said at the top of the show and said it again in the middle of our review. There's a lot of wrestling this weekend. You got tonight, you got tomorrow night. Damn, it's hard to follow this show. I mean, there was a dude next to you, I should say, right across the aisle from me. By the way, what the hell is Xylot? What the hell is that?
That's what?
The guy, okay, so you're on the corner of the ramp. The guy sitting across from you on the other side of the ramp, he had a bunch of signs around him. One even got ripped up.
Yeah.
He's a guy.
Cardona.
He's been at a bunch of different wrestling shows. He had a sign that said Xylot themes. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm gonna have to Google that shit later.
That's why they put them on there, to get you to look J-Bone.
Yes, yeah, exactly. You got to put over the brand, right? And I had a point where I was going with this, and I completely lost. Son of a bitch! Damn. I mean, this show just messed me up.
Well, hold on. We have a comment on that situation.
Which one's Jay?
Yeah, exactly. That's about how my day is gone. It's like by the time I hit the show tonight, I was like, oh my Lord. I was sucking down a Mountain Dew trying to stay awake and had a mountain at the top of the show. Crazy.
Well, Jay, you know what could help that situation?
Uh-oh.
Grooming. I'm not saying anything about your face, J-Bo, because you're very presentable. You cleaned up well for Overdrive. But when you got to groom
I didn't
downstairs,
do shit.
when you got to groom downstairs, J-Bo, and it just makes you feel free to do a great podcast.
It does.
And the only way you can do that is with our sponsor, Manscaped. And by using promo code TNI, you can save 20% and free shipping. And feel free down there, out and up here to do whatever you like, including forgetting about your point in a wrestling match.
Yes. It just, like I said, even if you don't use the tools, get yourself some new underwear. They are amazingly comfortable. Man, I put that underwear on the other day, and I just sat in the bedroom in my underwear for like a good 20 minutes and didn't do nothing.
Oh, that's every day for you, Jay.
No, just that one time. No, really. Anyways, but yeah, Jordan Grace, Masha Slamovich. My God, the intensity of this match, the story they told. I'm like, God, how tough is Masha?
Very tough. We have seen her, but the stuff she does, like on the indies, she goes total deathmatch.
Yeah.
So she can go to other levels too. So I think once again we're just seeing probably the tip of the iceberg with her. And how about her new entrance?
Oh, I love it.
New song.
It's fresh. It's it's got that hardcore feel to it. It's and she's one who's had to like evolve a little bit, and I think it had to do with we'll just say surrounding politics. And that's one of those things where it's like, it's wrestling. I try not to overthink it, and I'm certainly not gonna say, oh, she can't do that because this is going on in Russia and she can't do that. I mean, people are talking about it, but so I'm sure they had to like tame it a little bit, but now it seems like she's kind of going back to it. So I don't know which way they're going with it, but look, Masha is incredible no matter what she does. She could talk Russian all day and just kick ass. Like I look at Masha Slamovich and I think of that one comedian that's like he doesn't have a shirt on, and he does the story of being in Russia and being part of the Russian mafia. I can't think of the guy. Something with a B. You look it up and just look up Russian mafia comedian story, whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, it's freaking hilarious. But I always think of him when
Is he related to the two Wilde and Crazzy guys?
No, it's not that. No, it's not that old.
Okay.
But it's like when Masha was doing the Russian talking on the last episode, and so I was doing the watch along, the live reaction, and I was reading the subtitles like with a Russian accent, and it totally reminded me of that one comedian. It's like, this is Russia. Fuck this guy. It's like, that's what I think of Masha's character. She's like, fuck this. I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you.
I'm going to kill you. You are idiot. I love it. I love it. You are stupid. Yeah, just stupid questions. From a stupid
Well, speaking
idiot.
of that interview segment, the after show perk of tonight was a photo op on the ramp with one of our favorite guests and people that we've had on TNI.
Oh.
J-Bone, you can only do her intro justice because she's one mean Gia Miller.
Oh, that's awesome. She put something on social media tonight, and it said who's gonna be my prince or something like that. And I'm like, what was that? And so that must have been like right before she went out and did the photo op with you guys or something.
Yes.
So no, that's great. Yeah, we love Gia. She's great. She's come a long way in Impact Wrestling, and she's great with Josh on BTI and all the backstage segments. Yeah, she's a blast. We love woo, my God, Gia Miller.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
And here's a Critical Sting with a hot or not so hot take. This Jordan run will be an all-timer when it's over. I don't disagree with that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, and I was telling, looks like Bell's Boy's got some Russian there.
Well, now you need the subtitles again.
Bell's boy says, I love this fucking podcast. This is the best. That's exactly what Bell's boy said. My Russian is spot on. But I was telling my wife, the lovely Mrs. J-Mo, one of the things I've been trying to like figure out what I want to do back here, because this like both sides is all gonna be just figures and posters and shit. But I wanted to keep this like unique and special back here. Okay. And I told her, I said, one of the things I'm gonna put back there is I'm gonna blow up the picture that we took in Chicago together with Daniel Spencer, where we were fighting over the Impact World title.
Oh, very nice.
I'm gonna blow that up to like either a 16x20 or 11x17 or something like that, and that's gonna be like dead center.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I love that because that just exemplifies the whole weekend. Definitely a highlight, and it was definitely the best photo op of the entire post-show VIP stuff. Just saying.
Agree. So one day you'll see me and the Bone Man adorn his bone studio.
Hell yeah. It's going up, bro. It's going up. All right. Main event time. Impact World title match. Josh Alexander defending against Kaz. Serotonin. The future. Serotonin. That's for Alicia. Serotonin. Man. Just I mean, I was really. I tell you what, I was ready for anything because this is wrestling. You know, you can predict the hell out of it and say, well, this is going to happen. This ain't going to happen. I was completely ready to have Kaz win and then have Bully cash it in on him and become world champ by the end of Overdrive. I was ready. I'm like,
they did it. They made you think it could happen because they did a great build. Kaz was very winning the X Division title, Option C. Option C has been very successful in the past. And Kaz has the history. He never won the title, never won the world title. It made you think it could happen. All the stuff with the family. And if it wasn't Josh, obviously Josh has had a great run. So I've been very supportive of it. But it almost felt like I'm cheering Josh on. I can't boo Kaz. Have too much history with Kaz as well. So it was a tough one. But obviously, they put on a clinic as well. Like this is some of these matches from Taylor Mickie to Masha Jordan and this match. 3 of the best matches of the calendar year for Impact Wrestling on this show.
Yeah.
And these guys, they tore the house down. You're right. What Bully said before he showed that he was Bully. You don't get better than that. That was a professional wrestling match. That's how it's supposed to be done. And when there was that time, about halfway through where they went outside, well, the inadvertent hit the referee Daniel Spencer, knocking him out. And Kaz was going to use the title belt to take advantage.
He was ready.
But he was a professional wrestler, and he did the professional thing and did not use that to his advantage. And Josh, same way, he didn't do anything to take advantage. It was just pure wrestling. And when it came down to it at the end, Josh just was able to edge him in this match. It was very close. I got to imagine if we counted up how many finishing moves from like other wrestler, it almost felt like Frankie was doing an homage to Impact TNA history by hitting finishers of every previous champion. Like he did
Styles Clash and other stuff.
He did the Styles Clash. He was just going through the line of finishing moves. So it just showed that Josh, once again, at the end, it just showed it gave Josh even a higher pedestal as Impact World Champion. And really, he, like we talked about, Sting said about like historic runs. I think we've already seen it. Josh Alexander keeps getting further and further in the longest title reigns. He went from the shortest title reign to he might wind up beating Bobby Roode's record.
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, I think Hard to Kill might be very close. I don't know if it's going to beat it or be very close to it. I think that's about the time frame of Bobby Roode's record.
Could be. I mean, getting through the holidays is going to be, well, I don't want to say a piece of cake. I don't know exactly what they got lined up. Obviously, it's going to involve some psychology from Bully, which tonight was insane. But it can't be all. It can't be all kept up here, and that's why they're throwing some of the comedic stuff in, sprinkled throughout the next couple months. Because if you keep that intense level this high over the next couple months, oh my God, it's gonna wreck some fans, including myself. Because, like I said, man, by the end of this show, I was,
like, I can't handle this.
I can't. It's a lot. I'm just saying, it's for a wrestling fan to go from, wow, Bully's really a spot on guy, and then he drags the wife by her hair. It was a combination, Bill, of the intensity of Bully Ray. I mean, his face was beat red, dragging the wife over the railing, and the reaction of Tom. If you have to watch back the replay of it, because one thing to watch it live and happen and have people, gasping around you. When you hear the response of Matthew Raywald and Tom Hannafin as this is going on, they are verbally very upset. They're not just like, oh my God, oh, what's gonna happen? No, they are cursing, and it's intense. So it just, not saying you have to curse to make it real, but it was, as honest as a response to what was happening. Like, oh, we didn't know this was going to happen. Holy shit. It was nuts. It was really nuts.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like, cause it felt like, is he going to do something like it was Jay going to get hit on that side of the rail? Like almost inadvertent, where something was going to happen, like Maria Kanellis was always getting hit. That would have done something, but you're exactly right. The way he pulled her over, it just was more menacing. Like he like with the hair and stuff. Like he didn't do the pile driver. He threatened it, but it almost seemed worse than what it could have happened. Like it just it. And I know it's always, we're talking hot takes. Bully Ray, man, he can go heel about as good as anybody in the business.
Oh,
and yeah. The guy is just a natural heat magnet. Sometimes it's because of intentionally what he's doing out there, and other times it's not, because of maybe politicking or doing something else that gives him a reputation. But this was kind of played like it was a masterclass, really. This now that everybody's on board, and there's reasons why. Like Jade, like she's has a history in the business too. Like she was a worker too, so that
sure.
You can do more stuff than you would like if it was just like, oh, your wife from high school and that happened. It's like, oh my gosh, right. what's going on here?
Right.
So at least that, because I'm sure there's probably some people that did feel uncomfortable watching that, and that's what they're going for. That's what they want. That's their reaction.
Oh yeah, and her reaction seems authentic as well. She was very.
Oh yeah.
And I'm glad. Like I said this before, I was like, man, if you notice, their son not present.
Smart.
He, at the end of towards the end of the match, when Josh won, and the kid was there, and he reached through the fence, he touched his pop, you know, and that was the last you saw of him, because yeah, there's no way that he would have been. I mean, that kid would have been like, all right, 10 years of therapy, yeah, bought and paid for. Poor damn kid, you know. Do not show him the replay of this, because that was crazy. But that was old school wrestling drama right there. I mean, that's crazy stuff, you know, when you see, like, you know, someone attacked Elizabeth and Savage was like, oh my God, I'm gonna get you for this, you know. That's classic stuff, you know. I love
it's a little bit of a twist on tried and true, but like those angles, like I remember some of those ECW angles way back with like Sandman, his son with Raven, like where like there was like people have gone in areas, and obviously Bully, he was back there in ECW when all that was going on. So like it's definitely, and obviously that there's a reason we've heard this whole time, you can't trust Bully, but he's doing everything right. So now obviously I'm very interested. I want to see how Tommy reacts to this, how like the few people that were on Bully's side, there wasn't many, maybe one.
Right. Are they gonna stick with Bully? Because Bully will defend himself. What did he say the whole time? You know, he's like, I shook your hand. I came to your face.
I did what I said.
I did what I said. He repeated himself over and over again. It's like, and he's not lying. He's not lying.
It's not a lie.
Like Bobby Fish, where's the lie? You know,
where's the lie?
The lie. Oreo, where's the lie? So yeah.
She just heard Bobby Fish. I was wondering where the fish is.
Oh, that's yep, you're right. You heard the word fish? Is that it? Little girl? Yes, that is absolutely it. So yeah. She's telling me it's time for treats, so we're gonna wrap this up soon. But yeah, hell of a main event. Any other thoughts, Bill?
Yeah, I'll tell you these monthly pay-per-views, the quality is so good right now. Like I think there's multiple Impact Plus specials you can look at and be like, match of the year. It was the match of the year on this show. Like they're most of them are as good now as what you want to call the Big Four. Really, it's just the Big Four have longer builds to a lot of their matches and some of the storyline conclusions. But these, when you're getting some of these matches, are just fantastic. And I just want to give kudos to a lot of those. Like you had obviously that main event. Both women's matches were fantastic. But I like, there was not a bad match on the card. Like everything really had a nice flow to it. And you're right, like it kind of, the early matches went a little quicker, so you kind of knew you were going to be getting some length out of the end there with those last couple matches, and and then obviously the Bully Ray angle really that we're setting up the rest of the year right now. So definitely some. I believe after the fallout, it's going to be Can't Miss TV on Thursday. Well, is it? I don't know, because I find it hard to believe you're going to have all this play out on a holiday. So I'm guessing at some point they're going to announce some placeholder show, but I don't know that for sure. If they go a full-on episode on Thursday, I'll be surprised.
There'll be some good wrestling and a few stories to, fill up the rest of the year. And we know
Turkey Trot returns.
Yeah. And we know what
Turkey
the main
suit.
Oh, we can only hope, right? But we know what the main event of Hard to Kill is, and because he shook his hand, Bill.
He shook his hand. Strong like oak.
Almost as smart as one too. But yeah, I'm digging it. I'm reading the chat. Not everyone is a fan of what Bully is doing. Understandable. He's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm here for it though, classic heel. He's in great shape. The guy can still go. Hell, look at his match with Moose, man. That was fun, you know. So you know, and that was a great way for him to say to the rest of the roster, hey, follow that, you know. Start out with a damn tables match.
Yeah, like obviously you usually don't lose like promo work, and he's a great promo. He always has been. And he's still, the intensity he brings, fantastic.
Yeah.
But in ring, like he's still very good in the ring. Like he got better. Like when he became Bully Ray in TNA, like that was his best. Like it was better than he was in ECW. It was better than he was in WWF, WWE. And like he was a better wrestler then, because like he became Calfzilla, but he got like he's still like years have gone by and he's still in excellent shape. There's no doubt. And the few matches we've seen so far, I haven't really seen a drop off from his Bully Ray days. So kudos to him. And I know we've talked about it a few times, because when you get into people like a Bully Ray, you got to be careful. Like we were talking about Nick Aldis last night.
Right.
There's other wrestlers the same way. I think for a storyline, for an angle, and presumably maybe Josh goes over in the end, I think that can be fine. That's good business. And that's what wrestling is, business. And if you can do a good business with, he is, like it or not, he is a very big name in the history of this company. Yeah. A legend, a Hall of Famer.
He is, yeah.
So that you can utilize him and he's still performing at a good level,
yeah, and
use it to advance your current stars on the roster. Yeah. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. Interesting point of view here from Anna. Says, as a woman, I found it really hard to watch what happened to Jay.
Exactly. No, I could see that.
Like I said, it
was a little uneasy. Like I was kind of watching it, and I kind of saw what was going on. I'm like, because I knew something was going to happen, and I'm like,
it was intense.
What's going to happen?
It was, yeah. And how she reacted too just made it even more intense. And hearing the crowd gasp, it was everything.
And that's why I wanted to put the caveat everything. That she does have a history to make you feel like she can handle herself usually.
Yeah.
So I would, just to make you feel a little better, because I know that I'm sure people do have that thought. I'm sure that would be a thing you hear.
Right. And
it's
everyone's
what's going on in Impact Wrestling?
Everyone's gonna receive it differently depending on the person and their experiences, their own personal experiences. You know, something may trigger something, but yeah, I completely understand that, Anna. I hear you.
And that's probably what you'll probably see on the socials when I said, like, I wasn't sure where it cut off, and it went pretty far, it sounds like, beyond the cutoff.
Yeah.
And I think if you knew the reaction from backstage, from management, that will tell you, like, it will help you validate that thinking.
Okay.
Because of how people reacted to what they had seen as well.
I could totally, because Scott can be intense, and I imagine he brought that intensity as well. Like, God damn it, bully! You know.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah. So I'm sure they're going to show that either as Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, maybe that's the beginning
exclusive
of the next episode. Like, if anything, that's probably the beginning. The cold open might be 5 minutes of the aftermath.
Probably. Now, did you just give us a hair of a spoiler? You know, she said Scott's involved in this now. Did he get in Bully's face, or did they keep their distance? I'm just curious.
He got in Bully's face.
He did. Okay, so it's
as much as you could without too much happening.
Right. Without getting completely nose to nose and grabbing collars and shit like that. Yeah. So Yeah, I was just curious because sometimes if it's someone's in the ring and someone's on stage, it doesn't come off as
they worn like at different sides of the room. They were in close proximity to each other.
Right. Then it comes off as Scott means business. He's not doing something from over here. Yeah. So that's cool. That was Rocky, by the way. Hi, Rocky. They're letting me know
all the cats co-starring tonight.
They're like, well, we heard you talking about Bobby Fish, so yeah, it's time for treats.
Big fans of Bobby Fish. All cats love Bobby Fish.
They do. Pretty good boxer right here too. Anyways.
I believe he won his match on the undercard.
Boxing debut.
Yeah, so congratulations. He's already accomplished more than CM Punk in shoot fighting.
Where's the lie?
There's no lie.
I love it. I absolutely love it. We'll put a bow on this review, Bill. Final thoughts on the show overall.
No, big fan of it. Overdrive. We haven't, I guess technically this is the second Overdrive, but the other one was a couple of years ago. But I thought it was a really good show. Louisville crowd brought it. Obviously the talent brought it. Those matches were unbelievable. So the build for Hard to Kill, we're seeing it. We'll see how it plays out over TV for the next month and a half, and go from there.
So yeah, it was a great show overall. That's one of the reasons why I love this brand so much, because it gives you a little bit of everything. You had the violence of a tables match. The knockouts across the board were incredible. Main event brought it. X Division brought it. Everyone brought it. Everyone brought something a little bit different. Just a well-rounded show. And when these shows started a handful of years ago, it was like, yeah, they're okay. If you miss it, no big deal. These shows, and we've been saying this over and over again, get your Ultimate Insider, your $5 a month. It is well worth it. Just look at what happened in this show, how entertaining it was.
Yeah, the Ultimate Insider or Impact Plus, either one.
Oh my goodness.
Gets you access to these shows. You can't beat it. It's a bargain to get these caliber of shows. Because obviously previous to them doing all these live, you're getting these live shows. They would do the one night onlys, and like champions wouldn't have their belts on those because they were in history, but they weren't really canon. They were like sort of canon, but not really, because they really wouldn't have title defenses and things like that. They would be themes, which there were some enjoyable ones. I enjoyed a lot of them, but when they went to this, it's a whole nother animal now.
Oh yeah, so they are must see. You don't want to
miss these. You're missing you're missing storylines, title changes. You're like, they all happen on Impact Plus shows. So
yeah,
definitely cannot miss it.
They are as good as the big four. So yeah, don't miss the ones in between.
Yeah, on there, or if they're coming to your town and you see that there's a live Impact Plus special. Don't just be like, oh, well, it's not Slammiversary or it's not Bound for Glory. No, you look at a show tonight like this. Honestly, there's been previous Slammiversaries and Bound for Glory that this show is better than it. So definitely don't miss that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, but yeah, great show. If you missed any of it and you're just watching us, please go back and watch it. It's guaranteed ton of fun all across the board. And the ending is so intense. Like the last few matches between the Knockouts title and the main title. Whew, nuts. Balls to the wall nuts. Great stuff. So, thank you, Bill, for making it. I appreciate it. I don't mind doing it solo, but I'm glad I didn't have to, because, man, by the end of the show, I was exhausted. So, I was pounding a monster at the end because I had to, like, even out my, it was crazy. So, thank you for joining me. Hope the tapings tomorrow are just as kind to you as far as bringing it, entertainment-wise. And thank you, everyone, for joining us live. Thank you for the bits and the cheers and the super chats and all that stuff on your way out. Don't forget to smash that like button, smash that sub button, and ring that bell for notifications so that you know when more of our content hits your screen. We'll be back soon to talk about the fallout from Overdrive coming up this next week. Don't forget to tune into the UK guys on Wednesday, and I believe the We Talk Indies crew is going to have a show this coming week. They're kind of doing like an every other week thing. That's why they didn't have a show this week. It's a little more casual because it's the Indies. There isn't always news and stuff going on. So they talk a little bit of stuff that not everybody else talks about. So, give it a chance. It's something new on the channel, and they try to bring in a little bit of Impact flavor to say like, oh, so-and-so from the Impact crew was on the Indies doing this show and doing this and match that, whatever. So, but Toza here. Wait, will Bill make his in-ring debut during the tapings? You'll have to find out, man. No spoilers here.
Have to watch.
That's why, because you never know what our front row Bill is going to do next. Say goodnight, Bill.
Good night, Bill and Jayla and everybody.
Take care. Much love. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you soon.